Welcome once again to the live video chat trivia stream thing. Let me drag this over here. As usual, if you're tuning in, hello Cathead. If you're tuning in later when it's no longer live, take a look at the description and you will see a timestamp to when the questions start. You can avoid all this waffle at the beginning. Hello, one person who has tuned in. But in the meantime, I'm going to span the link around. That's not the button I wanted. Why has that happened? Okay, good. We're going to span the link around. So we're going to start at about 10 minutes time, about 35 past AEDT. Let me post on the Facebook page and that kind of thing. Where's it gone? I've got too many Facebook pages. Where's that thing gone? Okay. Facebook's moving my stuff again. There it is. Okay. That is where I want to put it. No, I don't want to boost up thing. I just want to post my link. Okay. That's posted on the event. Now I need to just post on the page, which is not as easy as it used to be. Okay. Hello, 2 people who've tuned in. Right, where else do I need to spam it? Is it working or what? Yes, it is working. Okay, cool. Done. Okay. Got a few minutes till we start. I was working late today, so I came racing home just in time to jump on here. So I've basically done nothing apart from come home and jump on the quiz. I don't even have any alcohol. That's how desperate times are. I'm drinking actual water. From a pub glass, though, so that nearly counts. Hello, Pierrot. Hello, Caroline. Right, questions. That's what else I need. Looks like my document. Yes, it is. Good. Get rid of that. Evening, Jill. Hello, Joan. As usual, we'll be starting about 35 past ADST, whatever time that is in your local time zone. That's okay. Let me turn my speakers off. Okay. Nice surprise in the post when I got home. Got the little City to Surf medal, which I got for doing the City to Surf virtually this year. Quite nice. For someone who much to your surprise. Perhaps does not have many sporting medals to his name. It's kind of nice to get that, even though it is just a participation medal. Still, I participated. I did it. I could barely walk for about 4 days after it, but anyway. That's how it goes. Right. Yeah, it's a pretty hefty. It's got some weight to it. Don't know exactly what it's made out of. Some kind of metal. Feels too heavy to be aluminium, so I'm assuming it's iron or steel. Quite nicely painted. Right. Next Monday, I have my grand final in hockey. We made it through the quarterfinal, and so we didn't have to play the semi-final this week, so no hockey this week. But next week we have the grand final. So hopefully, touch wood, there'll be another medal in my future. But I don't know. It's going to be tough. Anyway, what is it now? 7:30. They also gave me this thing, which I'm not really sure what it is exactly. I think it's like a bandana. I guess I could wear it during trivia. A combined headband thing. Far out. It's got a lot of uses according to this. Just a fancy colour piece of cloth, I think. Right. Got my questions all sorted, so that's good. Yes. So do we have any regulars who are in South Australia, where it's all apparently kicking off at the moment? Oops, Gail has tuned in. Hello, Gail and Lance, I assume. Hello, Carmen, and presumably John. Right, we'll get started in a couple of minutes or so. In case you haven't played before, or even if you have and you've forgotten, we're going to have 3 rounds. The first round is going to be 20 questions of relatively easy trivia. Not super easy, but relatively easy, I think. And then I'll give you the answers. And then we'll have round 2, which is less easy, more difficult questions. And I'll give you the answers. And then we'll have round 3, which is our very difficult / silly / trick question round. Hello, Kim, Meg, and Paul. I think round 3 is not too difficult. I couldn't really find any particularly trick questions this week. Maybe. At the end of each round, I give you the answers. You basically just playing against yourself. You don't need to be the fastest person in the comments or anything like that. You mark yourself. Feel free to put your score in the comments. Lots of people do. See how you go. And then at the end, we'll have the some who am I questions, which you can use as a tiebreaker or just for fun. Pretty simple. If you want to be informed of future events, go to the Facebook page, Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz, Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz, or subscribe to the YouTube channel you're watching this on, or just tune in to the page at about a bit before 7:30 Tuesday nights. I'm trying to work out how many weeks I've done of these. Maybe I'll look that up for next time. Maybe that'll be a trivia question next week. How many weeks has Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz been doing weekly pub quizzes? Anyway, hello, elated Matt. Right, 7:33. Got a couple of minutes still. Give people a chance to tune in. Crikey. It's a big message I don't want to read right now. Okay. Right. We get started pretty soon, I would say. I was just lamenting the fact that I haven't, I had to work until late, so I came racing home, stopping briefly at a service station to buy some sandwiches, 7-Eleven sandwiches for dinner. My glamorous lifestyle. And I'm drinking water because I don't even have any alcohol in the house. That's how well organized I am. Right. Well, I'm assuming you can all hear me okay. You were all hearing me bragging about my City to Surf medal before, so I'm assuming the microphone's working okay. All right. Well, it's now 7:35. Pierrette had a snack pack for dinner. See, the term snack pack makes me think of something small and pocket-sized and delicate that you just, to tide you over until your actual meal. But I know that when you say snack pack, you mean an enormous pile of meat on an enormous pile of chips with sauce and all that kind of stuff. You can put it in your pocket if you don't mind a kilo of greasy meat in your pocket. Okay, round one, question one. I've never had a snack pack. I have had mini kebabs though, and mini chips. I don't get the appeal of the snack pack. Anyway, round one, question one. It's a multiple choice. That's how easy it is. Which of these members of the Addams family is completely bald? Is it A, Cousin It, B, Gomez, or C, Uncle Fester? Round one, question one. Which of these members of the Addams family is completely bald? Is it A? My volume keeps changing, apparently. I don't know what to do about that. Here I am clicking things at random like I know what they're going to do. Open volume mixer. That sounds good. I guess what I can do is aim my face more directly at the microphone. Anyway, so round one, question one. Which of these members of the Addams family is completely bald? Is it A, Cousin It, B, Gomez, or C, Uncle Fester? Yeah, maybe when I point my face away from the microphone, it gets quieter, and then when I point my face back towards the microphone, it gets better again. Is that what's happening? That's why I put the microphone there. So when I'm reading the questions, I'm pointing at the microphone, generally speaking. Question two. What color are Minnie Mouse's ears? Round one, question two. What color are Minnie Mouse's ears? When I faced away, it went super loud. Okay, well, that's defying all physics, so I don't know what to do about that. Question three. When ordering wine, the abbreviation ABC means what? Question three. When ordering wine, the abbreviation ABC means what? And I'm going to say it's probably not it's not an official acronym. It's a sort of a friendly, jovial kind of thing. Okay, it sounded like audio cable coming loose. Oh, that was a little loose, but it's digital, so it shouldn't matter. But anyway, see how that works now. That was a little bit loose on the bottom there, and maybe I was hitting it with my leg. Hello, Kat. Hello, Davey. Hello, Jill. Right. USB doing its thing. Question 4. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds is a catchphrase from which TV and film series? Okay, we've had 3 out of the first 4 questions are pop culture. I apologize. Question 4. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds is a catchphrase from which TV and film series? Let me know if the volume is a problem. I can always post the questions in the chat if need be, but it sounds like we'll struggle through. Question 5. If the name of a Chinese meal contains mine or mien, that's M-E-I-N or M-E-I-N. Did I say that the same way both times? M-E-I-N or M-I-E-N. Mine or main. What will it include? Question 5. If the name of a Chinese meal contains main or mine, what will it include? I said it differently both times. I actually think, and I'm being serious here, I think I have a very specific form of dyslexia where I can never get the E and the I the right way around in words. So the word receiving, I always get it wrong, and I'm conscious of it. And when I type it, I consciously go, "No, wait, I'm going to get this wrong. It must be here." And I do it, and the little red line appears every time, and it's like, damn it. Everything else I'm fine with. Anyway, question 5. If the name of a Chinese meal contains main or mine, M-E-I-N or M-I-E-N, what will it include? Question 6. Which Australian city is on the Burnett River? B-U-R-N-E-T-T, the Burnett River. Yeah, before E except after C, except that's not even correct most of the time. That's one of those rules that is actually incorrect most of the time. And Pierrot says, Main and Mia. Well, you've put an A in there now. That's even more confusing. I have heard of like chow mein and chow mein. Now I'm confused. Anyway, question 6 was, which Australian city is on the Burnett River? B-U-R-N-E-T-T River. So you've written M-I-A-N. That would be Mian, which I'm not sure if that's correct. Hello, ads. Who made it? Sort of. Well, we're only up to we just had question 6, which was, which Australian city is on the Burnett River? Question 7, which reference work is known as the OED? That's Oscar Echo Delta. Question 7, which reference work is known as the OED? Or what's the longer, like what does the OED stand for? Right. Question 8. Which literary animal lost his jacket and shoes while raiding Mr. McGregor's garden? Question 8. Which literary animal lost his jacket and shoes while raiding Mr. McGregor's garden? Got to know your literary animals. Do we have many geography questions this week? He wonders idly to himself. No. Question 9. A periodontist is a specialist in which specific part of the body? Question 9. A periodontist, P-E-R-I-O-D-O-N-T-I-S-T, periodontist, is a specialist in which specific part of the body? Pierrot prays for 0 geography questions. I don't think we'll have 0. There's got to be a capital or something in there somewhere. Well, there is. There's a capital question. Good. So question 9, a periodontist is a specialist in which specific part of the body? Question 10, the Japanese surrender in World War II was officially signed on board which ship? Question 10. The Japanese surrender in World War II was officially signed on board which ship? Was it Hirohito who signed the surrender on behalf of the Japanese? It was announced by the Emperor Hirohito. I guess he was the emperor. He probably wasn't actually out in the field doing the stuff. Anyway, what are we up to? Question 11. Which volcano erupted on May the 18th, 1980? Question 11. Which volcano erupted on May the 18th, 1980? It was signed by Japanese Foreign Affairs Minister Mamoru Shigemitsu, signing the Japanese instrument of surrender aboard a particular ship. Question 12. The mulga snake, M-U-L-G-A, the mulga snake, or Pilbara cobra, is the largest member of the black snake family. It's also known by which more regal name? Question 10. The mulga snake, or Pilbara cobra, is the largest member of the black snake family. It's also known by which more regal name? Parrot's looking sad. Is that because there is more than 0 geography questions? Right. Yes, he says. I thought it might be because you were sad about Japanese surrendering at the end of the war, because I know you're quite a Japanophile, but possibly doesn't extend to supporting their position during the Second World War. Good. Question 13. Which team, speaking of which team did David Beckham play for in his final season before retiring? Question 13. Which team did David Beckham play for in his final season before retiring? David Beckham being a famous football kicking man. Which team did he play for in his final season before he retired? Facebook just sent me a message saying, reminder, someone invited you to like Dexter the Cockatiel. Okay, I don't know who Dexter the Cockatiel is, but apparently he's got a Facebook page. Right. Question 14. Which 3-word title of a Shakespeare play has the same word at the beginning and the end? Question 14. Which 3-word title of a Shakespeare play has the same word at the beginning and the end? I didn't see if we got an answer. Do we have any regulars or anybody in from South Australia? Anybody in Adelaide? No? Question, that's not related to question 14, by the way. That's just related to the news. Question 15. What is the name of the first child of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian? I can now say former presidential candidate Kanye West with his 60,000 votes. Question 15. What is the name of the first child of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian? No, I don't care either, but you know, it's pop culture. Question 16. Who portrayed lifeguard Mitch Buchanan from 1989 until 2003? Question 16. Who portrayed lifeguard Mitch Buchanan from 1989 until 2003? Question 17. What color is the traditional Dutch drink advocaat? Is it advocaat? ADVOCAAT. ADVOCAAT. I believe it's pronounced advocaat. Anyway, what color is it? Question 17. What color is the traditional Dutch drink advocaat? With a T. Question 18. The punt or punt, P-U-N-T, was the currency of which country until 2002? Question 18. The punt or punt, P-U-N-T, was the currency of which country until 2002? Right. Question 19. Vietnamese pot-bellied is a breed of what type of animal? Question 19. Vietnamese pot-bellied is a breed of what type of animal? It's been a bit of a difficulty roller coaster this first round. That's how it should be, I suppose. Question 19. Vietnamese pot-bellied is a breed of what type of animal? And question 20. In Scrabble, the letters Q and Z are worth 10 points each. But which two letters are worth 8 points each? For 1 point each. So question 20, where there are two answers and you will get 1 point for each answer. In Scrabble, the letters Q and Z are worth 10 points each, but which two letters are worth 8 points each in Scrabble? I think that makes sense. Right, that's the end of round 1. I'll give you a little minute or so. I just want to actually flesh out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think for the end of round 2 question, I'm going to flesh it out with some bonus points. Why not? Oh, if you need any of those repeated because of the sound quality issues or whatever, do let me know. In fact, Peter has chimed in and said that he would like questions. Hello, Facebook. He would like questions 1 to 3 repeated presumably because the sound was a bit dodgy. Yes, no worries. So let's repeat. I'll repeat the first, I don't know. Well, scrolling the wrong way. Okay. All right, so just going to quickly go through the first few questions again because of the sound issues we had at the beginning. So round 1, question 1 was, which of these members of the Addams family is completely bald? Is it A, Cousin It, B, Gomez, or C, Uncle Fester? Question 2 was, what color are Minnie Mouse's ears? Question 3 was, when ordering wine, the abbreviation ABC means what? And it's sort of a light-hearted abbreviation, not an official one, I would say. Question 4 was, this tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds is a catchphrase from which TV and film series? Question 5 was, if the name of a Chinese meal contains main or mine, that's M-E-I-N or M-I-E-N, what will it include? And Kim would like number 6 repeated, so why not? Question 6 was, which Australian city is on the Burnett River? Right. And Elated Matt says, as in ordering wine in a restaurant. Yeah, when you're ordering wine in a restaurant, or if a friend says to you, what wine would you like? Would you like some wine? You might say ABC. What is it? What do you mean when you say that? And again, it's not really an official thing. It's sort of a lighthearted wine drinkers joke kind of thing. Okay, let's go through the answers properly this time. Okay, so here's the answers to round 1. Question 1 was, which of these members of the Addams family is completely bald? Was it A, Cousin It, B, Gomez, or C, Uncle Fester? It is, of course, C, Uncle Fester. Cousin It is very not bald, and Gomez is the, one of the main characters who's a normal looking. Not that bald people are not normal looking. Anyway, I'm not going to dig into that hole any further. Question 2, what color are Minnie Mouse's ears? They are black, same as Mickey Mouse's ears. Question 3, when ordering wine, the abbreviation ABC means what? It means anything but Chardonnay. It's, like I say, it's kind of a wine drinker's joke. They'll drink anything but Chardonnay. Question 4, this tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds is a catchphrase from which TV and film series? That is Mission Impossible. Question 5, if the name of a Chinese meal contains main or mine, what will it include? It will include noodles, or specifically wheat noodles. Kat says, haha, that's useful to know, ABC. Question 6, which Australian city is on the Burnett River? That is Bundaberg. Up in Queensland, mate. Burnett River, Bundaberg. Question 7, which reference work is known as the OED? That is the Oxford English Dictionary. And if it's not in there, it doesn't exist. Question 8, which literary animal lost his jacket and shoes while raiding Mr. McGregor's garden? That was Peter Rabbit. No worries, Peter. I'm happy to repeat those questions. Question 9, a periodontist is a specialist in which specific part of the body? That is the supporting structures of the teeth, including the gums and the bones to which the teeth are attached, which are the maxilla and the mandible. So if you said the gums or the jawbone or the jaw, that's fine. It's not the teeth and it's not the mouth. It's specifically the supporting structures of the teeth, so the gums and the jaws. All right, question 10. The Japanese, actually, now I think about it, periodontist, peri means near and dont would be teeth. So near the teeth is the literal translation of periodontist. Anyway, good. 10, the Japanese surrender in World War II was officially signed on board which ship? That is the Mighty Mo, the USS Missouri. Had quite an illustrious life, that ship. Question 11, which volcano erupted on May the 18th, 1980? It was big news at the time. It was Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens in the US. There's some amazing photos. Someone happened to be flying by in a plane taking photos of it as it erupted. So there's some amazing photos of it. Question 12, the mulga snake or Pilbara cobra. Why is this message box not going away? Pete thinks it should be any bloody color. Rewind. Huh. Nope, it's anything but Chardonnay. Right, what are we up to? Question 12. The mulga snake or Pilbara cobra is the largest member of the black snake family. It's also known by which more regal name? It's known as a king brown snake, which is kind of silly given it's the biggest member of the black snake family. But as I'm sure you know, you can't really tell the family of a snake simply by the color of it. So the mulga snake or the Pilbara cobra is known as the king brown. And you really don't want to be bitten by it. Question 13. Which team did David Beckham play for in his final season before retiring? That was Paris Saint-Germain, or as I imagine they say, Paris Saint-Germain. Question 14. Which three-word title of a Shakespeare play has the same word at the beginning and the end? Did you get this one? It is Measure for Measure. Can't say I'm familiar with that one. It's not one of the big hits, I suspect. But anyway, Measure for Measure. Question 15. What is the name of the first child of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian? That child is called Northwest. First name North, last name West. Anyway. Question 16. Who portrayed lifeguard Mitch Buchanan from 1989 till 2003? Well, name a famous on-screen lifeguard. It's got to be David Hasselhoff, of course. It's David Hasselhoff. Question 17. What color is the traditional Dutch drink Advocaat? Das half, the half. Don't hassle a hoff, as I believe he trademarked the phrase "Don't hassle a hoff," and it was an item in his divorce that he got to use that phrase. Anyway, what color is the traditional Dutch drink Advocaat? Well, the Dutch do like their orange things. I've got here yellow or orange. So if you have yellow or orange, I think that's fine. Either of those is fine. I don't know if I've ever had it. What flavor is it? I'm assuming, being Dutch, it's probably sort of licorice flavor, but maybe not. Anyway, 18. The punt was the currency of which country until 2002? That was Ireland. It's the Irish pound, or the punt. So it's Ireland. Question 19. Vietnamese pot-bellied is a breed of what type of animal? It is, of course, a pig. It's a small pig that people keep as pets. Vietnamese pot-bellied pig. And question 20. In Scrabble, the letters Q and Z are worth 10 points each. But which two letters are worth 8 points each? That is X for X-ray and J for James. Apparently, Advocaat tastes eggy but sweet. It's made from eggs, sugar, and brandy. Thank you, Kat and Davey. There you go. Sounds delicious. I like eggnog. If it tastes anything like eggnog, I'll have it. Anyway, that's the end of round one. How did you go? I think we only had one bonus point there, so there's possible high score of 21. Parrot got 2, which I think is possibly a personal low for round one. Jill, Jen, and Chris, 18. Pretty good. Yep, but with a kick. Okay, it's like eggnog, but with a kick. Well, I don't know about you, but the eggnog I drink has got a kick. Anyway, Caroline got 12, Kat got 10, Ed's got 10, Cam got 13, Davey got 12-ish. He's just given up counting. He's just here for the crack. And elated Matt got 14. Very good. And Peter got 13. Ouch. It was a pretty tough round one, I guess, although we had some high scores. Anyway, that's how it goes. The random number generator of trivia. All right, let's press on. Oop, we got a message on the Facebook page. All right, let's push on to round 2. Kim got 13. I assume the sound quality has now been fixed. Maybe it was just that cable being a bit loose. Something to watch in the future. Round 2, question 1. Which motorcycle manufacturer, it's quite a wordy question, this one, but it's actually a simple question. Round 2, question 1. Which motorcycle manufacturer became Premier Class Grand Prix Constructors Champions last weekend for the first time since 1982? Okay, so on the weekend, the Motorcycle Grand Prix MotoGP champion was decided for the rider and the constructor. The motorcycle manufacturer that won the championship have not been the champions since 1982. That's what the question is. So which motorcycle manufacturer is the champion this year? Sometimes when you explain something, it becomes much less clear. So I'll just read out my original question again. Round 2, question 1. Which motorcycle manufacturer became Premier Class Grand Prix Constructors Champions last weekend for the first time since 1982? Okay, so we want the name of a motorcycle manufacturer. There you go. Hello, Thomas. Question 2. Martin Riggs is the lead character in which series of films? Round 2, question 2. Martin Riggs is the lead character, in which series of films? You're welcome to have a go, Thomas, but we generally don't recommend typing the answers into the chat window. You're basically keeping track of your answers yourself, and marking yourself off when I give the answers at the end of the round. Question 3. The financial services and credit rating company S&P, the name of that company is short for what? So what does S&P stand for, essentially? Question 3. The financial services and credit rating company S&P is short for what names? Or what does S&P stand for? Fair enough, Thomas. I blame Pierrot as well. Question 4. In Romeo and Juliet, Juliet is a member of which family? Question 4. In Romeo and Juliet, Juliet is a member of which family? I have clicked on a person in the chat. No, it's not going away. Okay, good. Question 5. In medicine, what does the suffix algia, A-L-G-I-A, indicate? So question 5. In medicine, what does the suffix algia indicate? So if you have a word with algia on the end of it, what does it mean? A-L-G-I-A. Why is my phone blinking at me? Because people are sending me messages unrelated to trivia. Good. Question 6. Which brand of rum is named after a 17th century Welsh privateer? Question 6. Which brand of rum is named after a 17th century Welsh privateer? Which reminds me, I've got a bottle of rum somewhere in the cupboard. Here I am drinking water like a chump when I could be drinking rum. Anyway, probably do me good. Question 7. Which Beatle had solo hits with Photograph and You're 16? You have a bottle of Kraken. I'm assuming that's rum and not you have a bottle of a giant squid. Question 7. Which Beatle, I guess you could say former Beatle, but anyway, which Beatle had solo hits with Photograph and You're 16? If you haven't had a go, get some cinnamon whiskey and rum charter for a cinnamon toast crunch. I don't know what rum charter is, but I've had cinnamon schnapps. I've had Goldschlager or Goldschnee, it's easy for you to say, which is cinnamon schnapps with gold flake suspended in it. And that's very nice. And the gold is completely biologically inert and there's not very, it doesn't matter if you drink it apparently, but it's delicious. And very impressive the way the gold flake all floats around inside it. Good. Question 8. Which two colors are the stripes on the flag of Malaysia? I know I always say it about this time in round 2. I generally say, round 2 seems quite difficult this week. But I have to say, round 2 seems quite difficult this week. Rum Charter is like cream rum. Have I tried the cinnamon challenge? No, because I'm not an idiot. I already know what cinnamon is like when you accidentally get a small amount of it in your mouth. I'm not going to put a whole spoonful in there. Question 8. Which two colors are the stripes on the flag of Malaysia? That's a weirdly phrased question, but we'll just leave it for now. Question 9. Members of which country's cricket team were found guilty of match fixing during their 2010 tour of England? Thomas says, I have done the cinnamon challenge, and it was the worst idea ever. The worst $10 I never won. Yes, that doesn't surprise me that you didn't succeed. I mean, what's the challenge? Surely if you do it, that's the challenge. You've done it, even if you end up lying on the floor coughing out cinnamon dust for the next 2 hours. Or is it to do it and swallow it and have no effect? Is that the challenge? Do you win the $10? Yeah, you couldn't swallow because you have an intensely spicy powder in your mouth. Anyway, question 9 was, members of which country's cricket team were found guilty of match fixing during their 2010 tour of England? He says, comically picking up his glass of water and looking at it as if it might actually be vodka. No, I just can't speak for unrelated reasons. Question 9 was, members of which country's cricket team were found guilty of match fixing during their 2010 tour of England? Question 10 is, in cooking, man, how are we going to pronounce this one? Duxelles? 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 Duxelles is a mixture of herbs, onions, and which other ingredient fried in butter? Sounds delicious, even though I can't pronounce it. Question 10. In cooking, Duxelles is a mixture of herbs, onions, and which other ingredient fried in butter? And that is Duxelles. I'm confused because I know at the end of the word chateau, when it's a plural, the X is silent. And there's an X in the middle of this word, and I assume it's French, and I'm confused. Cat did the Weet-Bix challenge instead of a cinnamon one because I'm an Aussie. Is that you just ram an entire raw Weet-Bix into your face and try not to choke to death? Sounds brilliant. Question 11. Who provided the voice of the baby in the 1989 film Look Who's Talking? Do I have any questions that aren't set in the 80s? Some. Question 11. Who provided the voice of the baby in the 1989 film Look Who's Talking? Okay. The challenge is you have to eat 2 Weet-Bix without any liquid in 60 seconds. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only person to hear that who thinks, that doesn't sound that hard. But, I mean, they are very dry, aren't they? I think that's the crux of the issue. The first one's going to completely wipe out any moisture in your mouth, and then you're not going to be able to swallow. I'm now being encouraged to do the Weet-Bix challenge by the people in the chat channel. No chance. Question 12. Yum cha is a popular style of Chinese dining. But what activity does the name yum cha actually refer to? Question 12. Yum cha is a popular style of Chinese dining. But what activity does the name yum cha actually refer to? I do like yum cha, or as I believe it should be correctly called, dim sum. But what activity does the name yum cha actually refer to? I'll let you think about those for a minute. We were sort of racing ahead there with a few distractions along the way. Question 13. Muriatic acid is another name for what kind of acid? That's a strange question. Question 13. What is the more common name for muriatic acid? M-U-R-I-A-T-I-C. Muriatic acid. What is the more common name for muriatic acid? Thomas says, go back 2 years to Princess Bride. I might have a chance. I don't know if I've had a Princess Bride question. It is an excellent movie. And given that basically every line of dialogue in the film is a quotable quote, you could probably make a lot of questions out of it. Why is the masked man smiling during the sword fight? That would be one question. What does ROUS stand for? That would be another question. Anyway, those are not questions. Don't get confused. Question 12 was yum cha. What does it actually refer to? Question 13 was muriatic acid. What's a more common name for it? Question 14 is a multiple choice. Which of these types of clouds is found highest in the atmosphere? Is it A, cirrus, B, nimbostratus, or C, cumulonimbus? So question 14, which of these types of clouds is found highest in the atmosphere? Is it A, cirrus, B, nimbostratus, or C, cumulonimbus? Having deja vu about that question. I have not said it before, I think. Literally searching for a string that's in a question. Anyway, whatever. Question 14. What is the capital city of the U.S. state of Texas? Question 15. What is the capital city of the U.S. state of Texas? It sounds familiar. Well, I'm actually searching for the string of text. Copy that. Now search for that. Control F. Bring up the box. It's not even telling me there's even one hit, but there must be one hit because I literally copied it out of the document. Good. No, I haven't in this quiz before. Well, so Thomas is apparently in the US, which means he has to get question 15 right, or they'll throw him out. Question 16. Who was the first lady of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986? Question 16. Who was the first lady of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986? Or who is the famous former first lady of the Philippines? Right. Question 17. Which Australian national park has a claim, alongside Yellowstone, to being the first national park in the world? Question 17. Which Australian national park has a claim, alongside Yellowstone, as in it's kind of debated between which one of them was the first national park in the world, but which Australian national park has a claim to being the first national park in the world? As in the first bit of land that they decided to deliberately set aside and look after and maintain for, national park type reasons, I guess. Okay. Question 18. Prince Andrew is the Duke of where? Question 18. Is that a round 2 question? Is that 3 questions from the end of round 2 question? Anyway, question 18. Prince Andrew is the Duke of where? Wow, someone just sent me a photo. One of my friends just sent me a photo from a long time ago. I will look at that later. Good. Question 19. I have to send him. Hang on. Let me just send my friend a message. Wow. But I am doing my quiz at the moment. Okay. Question 19. What was the name of the chess computer developed by IBM, which defeated world champion Garry Kasparov in 1997? Okay. Basically, all my questions are set in the 90s and the 80s this week. Fair enough. I apologize to all the young people out there. Question 19. What was the name of the chess computer developed by IBM, which defeated world champion Garry Kasparov in 1997? It was notable because I think it was the first time that a computer had beaten an official grandmaster of chess in a proper, tournament-y type game. And question 20. Which fictional spy first appeared in John le Carre's book Call for the Dead and has been played by at least 5 actors since? So question 20, which fictional spy first appeared in John le Carre, is it le Carre or le Carre? I don't know. John le Carre's book Call for the Dead and has been played by at least 5 actors since. And what I was doing at the end of the previous round was I was looking at the Wikipedia page for that fictional spy, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people who have portrayed that spy. So what the heck? For half a point each, name as many of them as you can. So question 20, which fictional spy first appeared in John le Carre's book Call for the Dead and has been played by at least 5 actors since? And for half a point each, name as many of the 9 people who have portrayed this fictional spy. Good. Quantum chess, says Thomas. I don't know how that would work. I know there's 3D chess in Star Trek, which is apparently a real game that real people play. But then, Klingon is a real language that real people speak to each other. So that's Star Trek for you. Don't get me wrong. I'm very much Trekkie. I'm not putting them down. Good on them. Go learn Klingon. Not as a first priority, but anyway. That's the end of round 2. Think about the answers, and in about 30 seconds or so, I will start going through the answers, and you can mark how you went. So, Thomas, feel free to explain how quantum chess works if you can squeeze it into a YouTube comment. Otherwise, I could just Google it, I suppose. Right. Let's think about going through the answers to round 2 while I do some Facebook housekeeping. Right. Good. Okay, let's go through the answers. Let me know if you need any of those repeated. I guess you would have already told me that, but that's all right. Let's go through the answers to round 2. It's getting slightly shambolic. See, maybe it's not the alcohol that makes trivia get more and more shambolic as I go along. Maybe it's just trivia that slightly addles my brain. All right, round 2, question 1. These are the answers, by the way. Which motorcycle manufacturer became Premier Class Grand Prix Constructors Champions last weekend for the first time since their victory in 1982? Well, if you've been following Grand Prix motorcycle racing, you would know that Honda and Yamaha have really dominated for the last quite some time, and Ducati have had the occasional run at it, but it's actually Suzuki who are champions this year for the first time since 1982. So the answer is Suzuki. Okay, that quantum chess sounds very confusing. Question 2. Martin Riggs is the lead character in which series of films? Riggs! I'm too old for this. Yes, it's Lethal Weapon. Martin Riggs is the character played by Mel Gibson, of course. It's Lethal Weapon. Question 3. The financial services and credit rating company S&P is short for what names? It is Standard and Poor's, P-O-O-R-S. Standard and Poor's. Question 4. In Romeo and Juliet, Juliet is a member of which family? Well, it was always going to be the Montague or the Capulets, but it is the Capulets. She is Juliet Capulet. Question 5. In medicine, what does the suffix algia indicate? It indicates pain. So if you have neuralgia, that's nerve pain, I guess. And nostalgia is pain of the past. Nost. Anyway, algia means pain. Question 6. What brand of rum is named after a 17th century Welsh privateer? That is Captain Morgan, which I think is actually the brand that I have in the cupboard somewhere, which I shall go and investigate later. Question 7. Which Beatle had solo hits with Photograph and You're 16? That was Ringo Starr. Was it John Lennon who was asked, do you think Ringo Starr is the best drummer in the world? To which he replied, I don't even think Ringo Starr is the best drummer in the Beatles. Anyway, question 8. Which 2 colors are the stripes on the flag of Malaysia? They are red and white. Question 9. Members of which country's cricket team were found guilty of match fixing? I don't know why I can't say that. During the 2010 tour of England, it was Pakistan. Question 10. In cooking, doucelle is a mixture of herbs, onions, and which other ingredient fried in butter? It is mushrooms. Herbs, onions, and mushrooms fried in butter sounds delicious. Question 11. Who provided the voice of the baby in the 1989 film Look Who's Talking? That was Bruce Willis. Question 12. Yum cha is a popular style of Chinese dining, but what activity does the name yum cha actually refer to? Well, the food should really be called dim sum, I think, because yum cha, as you can probably tell from the word cha, refers to drinking tea. So the answer to question 12 is drinking tea. Question 13. Muriatic acid is more commonly known as what? It's more commonly known as hydrochloric acid, or HCl for those playing along at home. Hydrochloric acid. Question 14. Which of these types of clouds is found highest in the atmosphere? Is it A, cirrus? You cannot be cirrus. B, nimbostratus, or C, cumulonimbus? The answer is A, cirrus. That's the very high, thin, wispy ones that are seriously high. Question 15. What is the capital city of the U.S. state of Texas? Did Thomas get this correct? It is Austin. Austin, Texas. Check if I am correct. I am correct. Capital Austin. Did you get it? I'm thinking Thomas didn't get it. What's next? Question 16. Thomas said Dallas. Bad, very bad. I mean, it is a big city in Texas, but anyway. Question 16. Who was the first lady of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986? That is, of course, Imelda Marcos, famous for, among other things, her shoe collection. Question 17. Which Australian national park has a claim alongside Yellowstone to being the first national park in the world? That is the Royal National Park. South of Sydney, just south of Sutherland. I once killed a deer with a motorcycle in that park, and I still have the lump in my collarbone to show for it. Anyway, it's the Royal National Park. Question 18. Prince Andrew is the Duke of where? He's currently the Duke of York, but the way he's going, who knows what he's going to be soon. But anyway, he's the Duke of York. Question 19. What is the name of the chess computer developed by IBM, which defeated world champion Garry Kasparov in 1997? It is Deep Blue. Deep Blue is the name of the computer. It's not Big Blue. That's a nickname for all of IBM. It is Deep Blue. And question 20. Which fictional spy first appeared in John le Carré's book Call for the Dead and has been played by at least 5 actors since? That is George Smiley. I think there was a film, Smiley's People. Anyway, George Smiley, and we had a bonus points, which was name the 9 or as many of the 9 people who have portrayed him as possible. So that is Rupert Davies, James Mason, George Cole, Alec Guinness, Peter Vaughan, Bernard Hepton, Denham Elliott, Simon Russell Beale, and Gary Oldman. So you get half a point for as many of those as you think of. I don't know if I've ever seen a Smiley film. I've listened to a couple of the audiobooks, though. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, that's another one. Gary Oldman played Smiley. There you go. And that, that was the end of round 2. So let me know how you went. I think we only possible. Anyway, I guess you can 25-ish maybe for that round if you got everything right. Pierrot got 4 points, doubling his score from round 1. Well done. Ads got 10 again. Caroline got 8. Davey got 10. ... Kat got 7. Jill, Joan, and Chris got 16.5. Possibly for Gary Oldman or Alec Guinness. Carmen and possibly John got 11. And I have so many tabs open, I can't see my window where people are telling me stuff on Facebook. Let's close that and that and that and that and that and that and that. Okay. Peter got 14. One more than last round. Okay. Let's think about round 3, which is, if you haven't played before, our quite tricky / really difficult / silly round. But I think this time I couldn't really find too many brutally difficult questions. I think last week was particularly tricky. Anyway, we'll see how we go. 12.5 from Kim and 12 from Matt. Right, round 3, question 1. Hydrogen and helium are the first 2 elements on the periodic table. What is the third? Round 3, question 1. Hydrogen and helium are the first 2 elements on the periodic table. What is the third? That's our mandatory periodic table question for the week. People are sending me messages. Question 2. In 1992, Neil Papworth became the first person in history to do what? Question 2. In 1992, Neil Papworth was the first person in history to do what? Backhouse says, gosh, is this really round 3? Okay, yes, it is, lol. So I think he got lured in by the easiness of the first question and then smashed by the obscurity of the second question. That's round 3 for you. Question 3. In Roman numerals, a V for Victor with a bar above it has what value? Question 3. In Roman numerals, a V for Victor with a bar above it has what value? So that's question 3. In Roman numerals, a V with a bar above it has what value? Question 4. Where might someone use a shofar? SHOFAR. Sierra Hotel Oscar Fish Fingers. What the? What's the NATO phonetic alphabet for F? Mental blank. Anyway, Foxtrot, that's the one. It's not fish fingers. It should be fish fingers. SHO, so Sierra Hotel Oscar Foxtrot Alpha Romeo. SHOFAR. Where might someone use a shofar? Shofar, so good. But what is a shofar? Question 5. King George V famously said, La Boheme, or La Boheme, La Boheme was his favorite opera. Now it's multiple choice. Was that because A, it made him laugh, B, he fancied the character Mimi, or C, it was short? Question 5. King George V famously said La Boheme was his favorite opera. Was that because A, it made him laugh, B, he fancied the character Mimi, or C, it was short? Yes, a shofar is someone who drives your limo. Very good. A shofar is something that Sean Connery sat on. Very good. What time does Sean Connery get to Wimbledon? 10ish. Anyway, rest in peace, Sean. Only been gone a week or two. We're already taking a piss. I mean, we were taking a piss before, but anyway. So question 5 was about George V. Question 6. What two-word name is shared by the 24th of October, 1929 and February the 6th, 1851? Now, if this wasn't round 3, I would tell you what happened on those 2 days, and then that would sort of be a hint. But this is round 3. So tough luck. Question 6. What two-word name is shared by the 24th of October, 1929 and February the 6th, 1851? I'm wondering if I should give bonus points for knowing what happened on those 2 days. Yes, what the heck, why not? So what two-word name, question 6 is, what two-word name is shared by the 24th of October, 1929 and February the 6th, 1851? And for a bonus point, tell me what was significant about those 2 days. It's 2 separate events, obviously. They're separated by, 80 years. 2 different things happened on those days, but they ended up with the same name for those days. What are the 2 things that happened? You can have a bonus point for each one of those. Man, I'm bad at explaining things. So question 6, what two-word name is shared by the 24th of October, 1929 and February the 6th, 1851? And for a bonus point, tell me the major events that happened on those 2 days. Question 7, what is next in this sequence? Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, what? Not really a round 3 question, but here we are. Question 7. What's next in this sequence? Off the wall, thriller, bad, what? Yes, Thomas, you have correctly described the concept of trivia. Some things you know, some things you don't. Question 7. What's next in the sequence? Off the wall, thriller, bad, what? Question 8. Serial killer Peter Sutcliffe was known by which nickname? Question 8. Serial killer Peter Sutcliffe was known by which nickname? I don't know your serial killers. Not personally, preferably, but I don't know why this is telling me that it doesn't exist when it clearly... Anyway, good. Question 8. Serial killer Peter Sutcliffe was known by which nickname? Fair enough. Question 9. Justin Bieber ruined Christmas 2013 for several million 14-year-old girls by announcing his retirement. How old was he at the time? Question 9. Justin Bieber ruined Christmas 2013 for several million 14-year-old girls by announcing his retirement. How old was he at the time? Obviously, he has since unretired and continues to be successful. But when he announced his retirement at Christmas 2013, how old was he? And question 10. True or false? Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon. Round 3, question 10. True or false? Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon. Right, that brings us to the end of round 3. Let me know if you need any of those repeated. And if not, in about 22 seconds, I will go through the answers. That's right, Thomas, but you would only not get one of the bonus points. If you know one of the events on those days, then you would get the bonus point for the one that you know. So many messages. What's happening? Okay, Peter says his battery died. Oh, hang on. Oh, God, there's old messages. Okay, Gail says they got 11 for round 1, for Gail and Lance, and 11 for round 2. It's a pass. That's right. And Peter said his battery died. He missed questions 1 and 2. So, okay, I'll quickly repeat those. Round 3, question 1 was hydrogen and helium are the first 2 elements on the periodic table. What is the third element on the periodic table? And question 2 was, in 1992, Neil Papworth was the first person in history to do what? Okay. Darren wants question 2 repeated, which I have now done, so that's good. All right, let's go through the answers to round 3. So round 3, question 1, hydrogen and helium are the first 2 elements on the periodic table. What is the third? That is lithium, as found in batteries and antidepressants, among other things. Question 2, in 1992, Neil Papworth was the first person in history to do what? What significant thing happened in 1992? He was the first person to send an SMS message. First person to send a text message or an SMS message. And I believe it said, Merry Christmas. So there you go. I don't know who he sent it to. It's a bit like when Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. Anyway, who are you going to ring? You're the only guy with the telephone. Anyway, question 3. In Roman numerals, a V with a bar above it has what value? That is 5,000. The answer to question 3 is 5,000. Question 4, where might someone use a shofar? We had a few amusing suggestions in the comments, but what it actually is, it's a ceremonial trumpet used in Judaism. So it's normally blown to mark special events at a synagogue. It's basically an animal horn hollowed out and tuned to some extent, presumably. So where would you use it? Well, you'd use it at a synagogue or at any kind of Judaism event, a Jewish significant event. But I'd say generally a synagogue. Question 5, King George V famously said La Boheme was his favorite opera. Was it because A, it made him laugh, B, he fancied the character Mimi, or C, it was short? It was C. It was short. Fair enough. Question 6. What two-word name is shared by the 24th of October 1929 and February the 6th, 1851? And for a bonus point, what were the significant events on those dates? Okay, those days are both known as Black Thursday. Black Thursday, it gets you the normal point for that question. And for the bonus points, the 24th of October 1929 was the first day of the Wall Street crash that basically triggered the Great Depression. The market dropped 11% at the opening bell, which is pretty catastrophic. And February 6th, 1851 was the day of the worst bushfires in Australian history. I don't know if that's still true, if they think the ones that happened over the last couple of years, well, I guess the beginning of this year, if they are worse. But anyway, certainly Black Thursday, February the 6th, 1851, they were very bad bushfires. Okay, question 7. What is next in this sequence? Pretty obviously they are Michael Jackson albums. So we have Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, and that's followed by Dangerous. So the answer to question 7 is Dangerous. Question 8, serial killer Peter Sutcliffe was known by which nickname? He was the Yorkshire Ripper. The Yorkshire Ripper. Question 9, Justin Bieber ruined Christmas for several million 14-year-old girls, etc. How old was he when he made that announcement? Well, he was born on March the 1st, 1994. So Christmas 2013, he was 19 years old when he retired. 19. I mean, it's a round 3 question. What are you going to do? And then question 10. This is a standard trivia question. True or false, Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon? It is true. Her first name was Marion. I guess I could have given a bonus point for what is Buzz Aldrin's real name. The answer is Buzz Aldrin because he changed it by deed poll, but his birth name was Edward Eugene Aldrin. But there we go. His mother's maiden name really was Moon. Okay, that's the end of round 3. Let me know how you went. Pierre got 2. Thomas got 3. Kat got 2 points, baby. Jill, Joan, and Chris got 7. Absolutely smashing round 3. Caroline got 5, which is her best round 3 ever. Well done. Peter got 6. Not too shabby. And Gail and Lance have not yet updated us with their scores. Davey got 5, Lady Mac got 5, Carmen got 5, Carmen got 4, and Kim got 4 as well. And Gail has replied, but it hasn't appeared on the page. Just 5/12. I don't know what that means. Oh, 5 out of 12, not 5.5. Okay, good. 5's pretty good for round 3. You shouldn't feel bad. I always say about, I probably didn't say it this week, but I generally say if you get any points at all in round 3, you're doing pretty well. I think this round we had a couple of kind of gimme questions, but there were some obscure ones as well. Don't think anyone knew what a shofar was. Anyway, that's the end of round 3. Jill got a total of 41.5 out of some mysterious number that was the total possible score. Right. So now we will have our 2 Who Am I questions. If you don't know how these work, for these ones you are allowed to type the answer into the comments on YouTube if you like, or Facebook, as we go along. So if you are in a tiebreaker situation, you can use this to settle your tiebreaker. If you're not, just have a crack at it anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read out facts about a person, place, thing, year, object, whatever. And as I go along, if you think you know the answer, have a crack at it. If you get it right, you win the tiebreaker. If you get it wrong, you lose the tiebreaker. The other person wins. So you want to be fast, but you must be correct. The first one will make the official tiebreaker, and then we'll have another one afterwards, just for a bit of fun. Okay. Gail says, thanks for a fun night. No worries, Gail. Feel free to stick around for the Who Am I's or not. So anyway, here we go. Who am I? I am a mythical creature. I have appeared in virtually all forms of religious art. However, I do not appear in Greek mythology, but rather in their natural history texts, because the ancient Greeks believed me to be a real animal found in India. I am a symbol of purity and grace, and it can apparently only be captured by a virgin. Leonardo da Vinci explained in one of his notebooks, this animal, through its intemperance and not knowing how to control itself, for the love it bears to fair maidens, forgets its ferocity and wildness, and, laying aside all fear, it will go up to a seated damsel and go to sleep in her lap, and thus the hunters take it. Narwhals have been hunted for their horn, which has been sold as a false product relating to me. Usually depicted as a white horse or goat-like animal with a long horn, cloven hooves, and sometimes a beard, I am a unicorn. Strictly speaking, Pierrot got the answer first, but he disqualified himself by saying dragon beforehand. I think Kat gets that one. Oh, comments. Yes. Unicorns, that's correct. Gail and Peter, well done. All right, we'll have one more. Who am I? It's kind of interesting about the unicorns, though, that the ancient Greeks thought they were a real animal. I guess they're no more weird than a giraffe. Anyway, question, or platypus. Question, it's not a question, it's a who am I? Here's the second who am I? Who am I? I was born in 1950 in London and died in 2003 on Queensland's Gold Coast. My later years in Australia were spent as a property developer, among other roles. I had originally moved to Australia in the hope that the warmer climate would alleviate some of the arthritis pain from injuries sustained during my earlier career. I was famous for my playboy lifestyle. In fact, in 1975, while on crutches, I met Stephanie McLean, who had been Playmate of the Year in 1971, and we married in 1984. I was a chain smoker, to the point of having a hole drilled in the chin bar of my racing helmet so that I could have a last cigarette on the grid before a race. I was 500cc Grand Prix motorcycle world champion in 1976 and 1977. I was diagnosed with cancer of the esophagus and stomach in 2002 and refused conventional treatment, stating that I had spent enough time in hospital after almost life-ending crashes in 1976 and 1982. 8 months after being diagnosed, I passed away. Known to Australians as a motorsport commentator for many years, and, as previously mentioned, Grand Prix motorcycle world champion in 1976 and 1977, I am Barry Sheene. I was born in London in 1950. I'm Barry Sheene. I don't think anyone got that. We had a George Lazenby, which was way off, I'm sorry. We had a couple of Doohans who he was motorcycle Grand Prix champion, and he did live in the Gold Coast, but I think he's still alive, and he wasn't born in 1950. Anyway, Barry Sheene, nice guy, motorsport commentator for a long time in Australia, property developer, died of cancer, chain smoker. What are you going to do? Right. That's the end of the quiz. Hope you had fun. Nope, Gail didn't get that one. Peter didn't get that one. Well, I'm surprised. I thought more people would have got Barry Sheene. Anyway, he sprung to mind because although he wasn't the champion in 1982 when Suzuki were last champions, he was famously a Suzuki rider. So he's of that era when Suzuki were previously champions, and they're once again champions this year. Well done to them. Anyway, hope you had fun. If you're in South Australia, man, it's going to be a tough few weeks down there, I think. Thank you, Caroline, for your well wishes for hockey next week. I hope we go well. This will be my 5th grand final, and hopefully the first one that I win. Anyway, thanks, Chris. Don't know if I've seen your name before, but good to see you. Glad you're enjoying it. Tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you then. Bye. Thanks, Jill. Yeah, hopefully I won't have my arm in a sling or anything. Anyway, see you next week, guys. Bye.